Someone who's born in a communist country, I would have never imagined that actually one of our own senators would actually be aiding and abetting communist and other autocratic regimes around the world. This is having a real negative impact and will continue to have a real negative impact on our combat readiness. And that's what the American people truly need to understand.
So let me give you an example of how serious it is. The people who are our potential adversaries are paying attention to this. One of my general officers from the Air Force was recently at an embassy event here in Washington, where a colonel from the People's Liberation Army of China taunted him about the way our democracy was working. Our potential adversaries are paying attention to this and is affecting how they view the United States and our military capabilities and support for the military. This needs to stop.
The American people need to stand up and complain about what's going on, because we need to actually turn this around as quickly as possible. I mean, I served in uniform for 26 years in the United States Navy under 6 different presidents, 3 Republicans, 3 Democrats. We have never seen another situation like this. And it's having a real impact on our service members who demand the trust of all the American people. Tommy Tuberville has to stop this hold on our nominees moving forward.
It's relatively routine for political appointees like ourselves to be put on hold pending a confirmation. It is totally unprecedented to do this to our professional military officers. You know, the hundreds of people and their families and all the others affected by this have nothing to do with this policy. This is not going to be an effective tactic, and it's a terrible precedent for other situations.
And it's not just the immediate consequences, it's all of the colonels, lieutenant colonels, even majors who are looking at how the general officers are being treated and what their families are going through. I really worry that a lot of those officers who volunteer are going to walk away and basically say, I don't want to deal with this. If this is what it takes to be a general officer, I don't want to do this. I have a general officer who was supposed to move into a new house associated with their new position, and that service member was going to move their aging mother into that house with them so that they could care for them. Because that move isn't happening, they are paying $10,000 a month right now to keep the aging parent in an assisted living facility. That is the kind of consequence that's happening, and these are service members who have literally put their lives on the line for Americans for the last 20 years.
And to suggest that these admirals and generals did not fight is completely wrong. These are the same individuals who for 20 years actually defended our national security in Iraq, Afghanistan, and throughout the globe. They deserve our respect. And more importantly, the current service members who serve in all our services demand to have the best leadership to guide them and lead them in combat and during times of peace.
The Secretaries of the Army and the Navy and the Air Force wrote this opinion piece in the Washington Post, quote, "Officers and the millions of service members they lead are the foundation of America's enduring military advantage, yet this foundation is being actively eroded by the actions of a single U.S. Senator, Tommy Tuberville, and it is putting our national security at risk." So joining us now, the Secretaries of the Air Force, Frank Kendall, of the Army, Christine Wormuth, and the Navy, Carlos Del Toro, are all here on the lead for an exclusive in-studio interview. For the first time in history, 3 branches of the U.S. military are operating without Senate-confirmed leaders or chiefs of staff. 300 more top nominees are also on hold, all because of this one lawmaker, Alabama Republican Senator Tommy Tuberville, and his objection to the Pentagon's new policy, which reimburses service members or their families for travel if they have to go to another state to get an abortion.
It is just unprecedented to be attacking apolitical general officers and flag officers in this way. It is, it is taking our apolitical military institution, that's a core principle of our constitutional democracy, and eroding its foundation.